Yeah, I brought the hat back. What's up, guys? It's me, the AO Lead Double X Prince, and I'm here to review the biggest blockbuster of the summer. I like that little tagline where they made it seem like it was literally what they said it was, a blockbuster. And you have two blockbuster main events so good they didn't need the belts. That's how good that was. The two main events did not need belts. That's saying a lot. When you could do that, that's pretty impressive. It's too bad that people try to do that all the time. So, but damn. Uh, those two matches were pretty good. Everything else was passable. Some stuff was pretty solid for the most part, but I mean, they did their best with everything else. It's just that those two matches alone just sold it for me. We kick off the night with Jeff Hardy and MVP. These guys have very underrated chemistry. I really enjoyed this little match. It was a decent little match to start off the show. Jeff Hardy and MVP pulled it off, and MVP is a star. Despite what you guys think about his background and his story, this guy had some pretty good matches. And he had charisma. So there's that. And Jeff Hardy again being as great as he is. So there's that. Next up, the worst match of the show: Santino Marella and Beth Phoenix versus Mickie James and Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental and the Women's Championship in a mixed tag team match. I mean, Santino was always a shit wrestler, but at the time he actually was kind of funny. When he imitated Stone Cold Steve Austin, I was like, damn, that's actually pretty funny. Everything else that Santino's done afterwards has been shit. I mean, he was always a shit wrestler, so there's that. So, easily the weakest match of the show. Everybody else tried, but Santino is just so fucking bad in that ring. So, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? Next up, for the ECW Championship, Matt Hardy defeated Mark Henry in about a couple seconds. And I think it was, they just beat him in like a couple seconds. And there's that. I mean, Tony Atlas gets interfered. I mean, I like that Tony Atlas at the time tried to back up Mark Henry, but it was just kind of dumb. Everybody gives shit for that ECW Championship look. I thought it was fine. It wasn't the best, I believe. It wasn't an ECW belt for sure. But it actually looked kind of cool for a second. And, this led to Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy body slamming Mark Henry. I mean, Matt and Jeff are already established, so why couldn't they just build up Mark Henry? I actually liked Mark Henry in 2011, but, over here they just tried with Mark Henry. I mean, ECW is really hard to build up stars when it's owned by WWE. It's just a fact. So, yeah, they tried their best. CM Punk defeated JBL in a World Heavyweight Championship match. JBL was kind of thrown there. CM Punk and everybody could agree that championship run for CM Punk in the beginning was bad. It was just not good. It was pretty dull for the most part. No one really enjoyed that. It was pretty sad to see that. And however, he tried his best to pull off good matches, so kudos for Punk for doing that, because this match was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. JBL is a pretty shit wrestler. It's just a fact. Besides his Eddie matches and maybe the I Quit match with Cena, he really didn't have that many great matches. I mean, this one was one of the few good ones. CM Punk did his best again. It was a decent little match. I kind of forgot the feud. So, it was a pretty good match. Next up for the WWE Championship, Triple H versus the Great Khali. You hear Great Khali and you think, oh man, this guy sucks. He's one of the worst wrestlers of all time, and I 110% agree with all of you guys. Khali's the worst wrestler of all time. It's a fact. However, this match is actually okay. Triple H and Great Khali actually had a pretty okay match. And they actually pulled off an enjoyable match, to say the least. I kind of enjoyed this match for the most part. easily, by far, the greatest match of the Great Khali's career. But Triple H ends up reclaiming his WWE Championship. He's champion again. So kudos for that. For once, people were cheering for Triple H. I remember people at the time were getting sick of Triple H burying everybody. But for once, we're like, yeah, he should have beat Great Khali, because there's no way Great Khali was going to hold the spinner belt for a while. So fuck that. Now we get to the big blockbuster matches of all time. No, not all time, just for the time being. John Cena versus Batista, first time ever. And I actually like the video package that they threw, how they showed the Marine and then Batista's fame. You know, they showed that these two guys are famous. And this is the first time ever these two competed before we got to the 2010 matches. But here in 2008, these guys were already the two biggest stars out there. And we've been craving this match since the Royal Rumble 2005. I remember when both guys co-won the Royal Rumble match until Vince McMahon snapped and they restarted the match and Batista won. You know that, yada yada yada. And Batista at the time, he was the most over guy on SmackDown, I believe, and John Cena was one of the most over guys on Raw. Two very over dudes pulling it off, and then they just said, fuck it, let's just throw them both in and just see what we could get out of it. And, you know, the story was okay, how both men try to be the best. And sure enough, they pulled it off. I thought John Cena was going to win. Batista won, and I was actually pretty happy about that, because at the time, people were getting sick of Cena, and they were just getting tired of him. But holy shit, did Batista just get cheers after that. I mean, crap. And actually, these guys had a really good match. You know, at the time, you know, John Cena wasn't about his old technical wrestling, doing freaking hurricanranas and flips and springboard stunners. No, at the time, it was just John Cena as a brawler. And Batista was just basically the same as he was now. And they just had the best match that they had. And it was a really good match and pretty enjoyable. Just like, you know, for once, you know, I'm not a big fan of big man wrestling, but, you know, I've been saying this a lot in the SummerSlam retro reviews, that big man wrestling is actually pulling off to be pretty good. So I really enjoyed that. And John Cena will always remember, at the time he had this finisher where he would jump, like if he was sitting down and then just like hit his leg would hit the guy's head, and shockingly he didn't kill anybody. Pretty sure that's why they banned it, just because they don't want to do any of that, risk any of that. But John Cena did that move, and Batista catched him with a power bomb. It was great. I marked out when that happened. I'm like, holy shit, is John Cena okay? But then Batista hit another power bomb just to finish off John Cena. Now, I hated that finish at the time, but I tend to love it now, because at the time, John Cena was this big Superman character where he couldn't lose to anybody. So the fact that Batista hit another powerbomb, it just showed that Batista's even more badass. And I like that they kept him as a face, because, you know, usually this leads to Batista as a heel, and whenever Batista comes back, you know all those shenanigans. But I'm glad that they kept this as normal as possible. So, yeah. So, I really enjoyed this match. It was really good. Really enjoyable match. And great. Honestly, if I were the company, I would have had just Batista be on SmackDown. I know Batista went to Raw in 2008, but his 2008 run wasn't that great. Besides this match, it wasn't that great. Also, somewhere in the show, the best feud of the year, which is Jericho and Michaels, they didn't have a match. They had Shawn Michaels and his wife come out talking about how Shawn Michaels is going to retire, but Chris Jericho interrupts him, and sure enough, Shawn Michaels does not retire, and they continue this feud. I'm actually shocked that these guys didn't have a match here. That should have happened. Imagine how great that match would have been on SummerSlam. Hell, I could have saved the show from being easily one of the best SummerSlams of all time. You know, like I mentioned, the two matches sold at Batista and John Cena. That was one of the big sellers. But the biggest seller of them all was Undertaker and Edge inside a Hell in a Cell. And this feud was great. Honestly, 2008 had 3 of the best feuds ever. Michaels and Jericho, Edge and Taker, and Flair and Michaels from Mania. This one topped it. It was just that damn good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And I was just blown away that how this match was built. With at the time, Mick Foley was a commentator, and Edge said, "How can I compete in the Hell in a Cell?" And then Mick Foley was like, "You gotta find that Edge that spear me through a flaming table. You gotta find that evil Edge." And then he's like, "I think I found him." And then he beats the shit out of Mick Foley. I mean, that was just great. I really love that character of Edge. I really love that side of Edge. He always worked better as a heel. As a face, not so much. But Edge comes, he enters Hell in a Cell for the first time, and I was wondering how this match was gonna pull off because Edge is a smaller dude and Undertaker is a big dude, and it's a Hell in a Cell match. I mean, they already had great matches at Mania, Judgment Day, the TLC match, and you know those were pretty good matches. But now nobody can interfere, especially since Vicky Guerrero got mad at Edge for cheating on her. So that's why she rebooked Taker to come back. So it was all pretty good from there. And the story was there. And Edge was basically... If Edge won this match, I wonder what the hell Edge was going to do afterwards. Because I'm just curious what would happen if Edge won this match. But Undertaker wins this match, and a fantastic good match. It was a Hell in a Cell match mixed with a TLC match. I've never seen that been done. I don't think ever, but yeah, they brought tables, ladders, chairs, and they had Hell in a Cell. You know, 2 of the best stipulations ever, and they tore the house down, and it was just great. Eventually, Undertaker wins because there's no way Edge was gonna win. I just knew that. Taker was gonna win. He was coming back, so it made sense. But I did not expect Taker to choke slam Edge from the top of the ladder into hell. You know, they broke the ring and flames came out, and that was the end of the show. So, overall, the show, besides the 2 main events, everything else was take it or leave it. I know I've said that's going to be my catchphrase at this point, take it or leave it. But yeah, it kind of was that. 2 blockbuster main events and everything else was whatevs. It's pretty shocking that these 2 matches did not need the belts. That's how big those 2 matches were. So yeah, I'm going to have to say that this show, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 simply for those 2 matches alone because everything else was okay. You know, I like Edge and MVP. I like Punk and JBL. Even Khali versus Triple H wasn't that bad. So, you know, everybody else tried, but those 2 matches, I mean, shoot. Just thinking about them. Yeah, this is my second to last review for the retro review series of 2008. And next up comes the show that really got me invested into this is where I almost became part of the YWC, and you guys might know what it is. 2013, yes, I'm gonna talk about that show next. Anyways, it's me, the AL Lead, XX Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and until then, I'm out.